right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Her Majesty, the Queen.
I'm speaking to you at what I know is an increasingly challenging time. A time of disruption in the life of our country. A disruption that has brought grief to some, financial difficulties to many, and enormous changes to the daily lives of us all. I want to thank everyone on the NHS frontline, as well as care workers and those carrying out essential roles, who selflessly continue their day-to-day duties outside the home in support of us all. I'm sure the nation will join me in assuring you that what you do is appreciated and every hour of your hard work brings us closer to a return to more normal times. I also want to thank those of you who are staying at home, thereby helping to protect the vulnerable and sparing many families the pain already felt by those who have lost loved ones. Together we are tackling this disease, and I want to reassure you that if we remain united and resolute, then we will overcome it. I hope in the years to come, everyone will be able to take pride in how they responded to this challenge. And those who come after us will say the Britons of this generation were as strong as any, that the attributes of self-discipline, of quiet, good-humoured resolve, and of fellow feeling still characterize this country. The pride in who we are is not a part of our past. It defines our present and our future. The moments when the United Kingdom has come together to applaud its care and essential workers will be remembered as an expression of our national spirit, and its symbol will be the rainbows drawn by children. Across the Commonwealth and around the world, we have seen heartwarming stories of people coming together to help others, be it through delivering food parcels and medicines, checking on neighbours, or converting businesses to help the relief effort. And though self-isolating may at times be hard, many people of all faiths and of none are discovering that it presents an opportunity to slow down, pause and reflect in prayer or meditation. It reminds me of the very first broadcast I made in 1940, helped by my sister. We, as children, spoke from here at Windsor to children who had been evacuated from their homes and sent away for their own safety. Today, once again, many will feel a painful sense of separation from their loved ones. But now, as then, we know deep down that it is the right thing to do. While we have faced challenges before, this one is different. This time we join with all nations across the globe in a common endeavour, using the great advances of science and our instinctive compassion to heal. We will succeed, and that success will belong to every one of us. We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again. But for now, I send my thanks and warmest good wishes to you all.
There we go. Short, but very eloquent, wasn't it? And heartfelt from the Queen. She's like a reassuring mother of the nation and grandmother of Great Britain. And And I suppose some of that comes to Australia as part of the Commonwealth, but I always find her reassuring to listen to.
Yeah, and as you say, short but sweet, but some of the messages in there and referring to that time in 1940 when her and her sister broadcast to other children who were separated from their families
Very
during
powerful.
World War II. Yeah, it was, something we'd forgotten that she did that.
I think that message of hope on the NHS workers and also the children during rainbows, it was really nice. And look, I know that Great Britain's going through a lot at the moment, and so is the Commonwealth. She didn't really go into the Commonwealth as much as the UK, but obviously that's her priority at the moment. Let's return to Nine Sophie Walsh and Royal Commentator Camilla Tominey. Sophie, we've just witnessed history in the making, haven't we?
We certainly have, and wasn't it comforting to see the 93-year-old Queen looking a picture of health, really, and reassuring us that one day and one day soon we will be back with our families, we will be able to be back with our friends, we will be able to meet up again, because that's one thing that a lot of people at the moment are struggling with, that separation. She also spoke about the challenge, that it was an enormous challenge to everyday life. She thanked, as we expected, the NHS workers, and it was lovely to see that overlay, those pictures of the NHS workers, the doctors and nurses hard at work battling this virus on the front line. She also said that they selflessly continue day in, day out their duties outside of home, and she told them that what they are doing is appreciated, that every hour of their hard work brings us closer and closer to our normal lives. She also thanked those people who are staying at home, as we know that she is in self-isolation at Windsor Castle, and we're all being told that we should be staying home if we can. So she was pressing home that point as well, and also said that together we are tackling this disease, but rest assured that we will overcome it. It really was reassuring to see the monarch there, 93 years old, a picture of health, but telling the world really that there are brighter days ahead.
We'll be okay. That's very nice. Thanks, Soph. Let's go to Camilla. And Camilla, she talked about the country being united and resolute. How do you think this will go down with the British people?
I think it'll be very well received. I think because of the timing here, it's prime time, it's 8 o'clock, people are settling down within their own families, having been told to stay indoors on what has been an unseasonably warm weekend. They'll want to hear that reassurance. And I think also they'll take quite a lot of comfort from some of the nods to things that have been going on. So the rainbows that children have done, the length and breadth of Britain in order to try and communicate the message that they're still around, even though they're being homeschooled, that acknowledgement of the clapping for carers, this idea that actually, even though she might be self-isolating in Windsor Castle, even though she might be approaching her 94th birthday, she's still got it, she's still got her finger on the pulse. And I think just hearing those words and also hearing them from someone who herself was recalling her own wartime experience. She sounds so iconic anyway whenever this kind of broadcast, but I think people just take it seriously because it's coming not only from the heart, but from somebody who frankly knows what she's talking about.
Well, I mean, I think that even the British Prime Minister will at some point admit that he was a bit slow off the mark, and we have a situation in Great Britain now where it's really been bleak. I think it was, 700 over the weekend, over the last 24 hours or something, 600 plus who have died, and taking the account to more than 4,000. That's terrible, and they're burying children now, and that's as a nation is the hardest of things to do, and these poor children are isolated even before that, away from their families. So Britain's going to need this kind of thing, Camilla.
Well, also, I think you just need people in positions of authority, not just rallying, but trying to give a sense of hope that this will all come to an end. I mean, we are living in these really strange times, and even the monarch there admitting that despite having served with 14 prime ministers and 13 US presidents, she hasn't seen anything like this before. None of us have. So I think this sense of saying we are all in this together does bring comfort at a time of crisis, and I think the Brits will be rallied by it.
All right, well, we might leave it there. Thank you, Camilla and Sophie. We'll chat to you again very shortly in the show.